Previously on Survivor Boston. After Kate was blindsided, Peyton, Giselle, and Moses were left at the bottom.
I need to have immunity at the next challenge. I need to win immunity this week.
At the immunity challenge, the alliances worked together, and after Brian threw the challenge, Lexi got the win, and the minority lost their trust in Brian.
And after the challenge today, we know that he's not on our side.
Meanwhile, Izzy saw a pony. Peyton and Giselle tried to convince Toby to flip sides for a spot in the final 3, while Brian revealed to his alliance that he had the hidden immunity idol. At Tribal Council, Brian received a lot of heat.
I mean, considering that Brian totally didn't tell us what he was doing, and
the contestants were shocked to learn that 2 of them would be voted off. The alliance stuck together, sending both Peyton and Moses home. 6 are left, who will be voted out tonight.
We had a surprise challenge and a surprise vote off, but I've kind of had a game plan of what order I want people to go in. Moses was more of a threat, so right off the bat, me and my alliance we didn't even have to talk. We all just needed to vote out Moses.
The day of the tribal council that Peyton and Mo went home, it was oddly enough, it's what we expected. We knew that once we got Kate out, it would just be boom, 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 getting the other alliance out, because as soon as we got Kate out, we would have the numbers just to vote whoever we wanted out. We meaning me, Lexi, Sarah, Toby, Brian. I think that's it.
Well, I think it's interesting because I went into the game as a follower, and I made sure to just whoever threw ideas out there, I'd be like, cool, I'll just go with that, so that way I don't get any blood on my hands and I don't have to have a target on my back, knowing that people see me as a leader. And I think that's what happened to Daniela, is people saw her as a leader. And other people who were voted out before me, like Bailey, were seen as leaders. And I think people just saw me going into the game as the nice guy that I am outside of the game, which is interesting because in the regular game of Survivor, no one knows anything about anyone. Whereas coming into this game, it's people assume that the personalities and everything of people in the game are the same as they are in real life, but I began to realize that I didn't need to be that same person. I could put on that persona but be a totally different person inside the game. So as it started getting closer to the merge, I was thinking about my own game, and as I found the hidden immunity idol, I was realizing that oh shoot, maybe I have a chance in this game.
after walking out of Tribal Council, I was really excited. We have had the Final 5 plan for a couple weeks now, and just getting Peyton out, who was the biggest threat that we needed to get out of the game, and then Moses, the second biggest threat on the other alliance. It just felt really good knowing that our Final 5 was fully solidified, and that it was going to be really easy to get even more forward now that those 2 people were gone. Right now, my strategy has really paid off thus far in this game, and I'm becoming a very big threat. And that scares me, and it scares everybody else. I was like, well, that's over. This is over. Bye.
Basically, I just saw my chances go out the door. I obviously thought maybe I could still work with Brian, but that's not even an option because he was working with their alliance the whole time. And I just really realized that everyone who's left except for me is in an alliance with each other, and they have plans and they have ways, they have the power that I have really nothing to do. So
I kind of feel the end is in sight, and that I have a decent chance of winning. Feels really good. I was in control in the beginning. Once the numbers were on our side, Brian totally jumped ship from the other alliance because he definitely had 1 foot in each alliance, and he's totally on board with our plans now. If it were me, Sarah, and say Izzy, I feel no matter what, Sarah and I will be in Final 3. I think people would respect me and Sarah's game more than they could respect Izzy's game, because I love Izzy to death, but she's literally been I don't care if I win, vote me off if you need to, I don't care. And I just think people don't really respect that as a player.
No.
right in front.
sparkly.
I think you're also talking about just seeing stars. Let's see.
Yeah, but I thought they had many birthdays.
Yeah, let's be good, Ryan. Stand right in front of the table.
Alright.
What we're gonna have you do, you're all gonna go into different corners, backs against each other. Just gonna have you guys fill something out real quick. No talking throughout this.
survey.
The most important thing right now is that no one talks to each other.
Really important. Hella important.
Yeah, all the answers can only be people who are still in the game.
Catch me in the kitchen.
It's like superlatives.
Oh no!
Can I have?
Traumatic
All
in my
right,
life.
you guys ready for today's challenge?
Yes.
First things first, Brian, let's take back immunity.
Barely got to know her. We went on one date. What is it?
She wasn't really into it.
9.
Immunity is back up for grabs. For today's challenge, we had you guys fill out a little superlative survey. For this, you guys are each going to be getting 6 cards, each card having one of your names. We're going to go through each of the superlative questions, and then you have to guess yourself who is the most popular answer. Whoever gets the most points at the end of this wins immunity.
Wins immunity. Okay.
We're going to draw for spots so we space you guys out, and then we'll get started.
My name.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, first question. Who is the most likable person left in this game?
Who you think the majority said? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal. We have a bunch of Tobys.
We have Brian and Giselle say Toby. Toby says Brian. Izzy and Lexi say Sarah. Sarah herself says Lexi. The correct answer is Sarah. Lexi and Izzy get a point in this game.
I'm gonna mark down.
You can keep the answer because you might need it again.
Yeah, I don't
Gonna go from real cute to like really bad.
I didn't get any, so.
You're not going to like it much longer once again.
So
Alright.
Izzy and Lexi are at 1. Everybody else is
As a challenge,
at
no,
0.
right here.
Second question. Who has the worst attitude within this game?
Oh no.
This is so much fun.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal. Almost unanimous.
Sorry.
Everybody except for Izzy and Toby say Izzy.
Oh my
Izzy
God.
and Toby say Lexi.
And so I have the second worst attitude.
The correct answer is Izzy. Brian, Lexi, Giselle, and Sarah get a point.
I'd like to thank the Academy. I've been working really hard my whole life.
Lexi with 2. Izzy, Brian, Giselle, and Sarah with 1. Toby not on the board.
It's okay, Toby.
Third question.
Maybe 'cause you
It's
don't
not
think
over
I'm-
yet. Third question. Who is the biggest challenge threat?
5,
Wait.
3, 2, 1. Reveal. Ooh, we got some split.
Lexi, Toby, Sarah say Brian. Brian and Giselle say Sarah. Izzy says Giselle. The correct answer is Brian.
I'm killing the game.
Lexi has not gotten a single one wrong.
Maybe I'm a challenge threat. Guys, have you ever thought about that?
Toby gets on the board with 1. Sarah got to 2. Lexi's at 3. Everyone I didn't mention still has 1.
Fourth question. Who is the most attractive person left in this game?
It's me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal. Ooh, mixed ones.
All right.
Thanks, Toby.
Izzy, Brian, Giselle, Sarah say Lexi. Lexi says Izzy. Toby says Giselle. The correct answer was a tie between Lexi and Brian.
Hey guys.
All right, Lexi's at 3. Sarah's at 3. Toby, Brian, Giselle at 2. Toby at 1.
Who would you trust with your life?
5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Brian and Giselle say Toby. Izzy and Lexi say Sarah. Toby says Izzy. Sarah says Lexi.
Die, Toby.
The correct answer is Sarah.
Oh.
Yes,
Lexi
Sarah.
and Izzy get another.
Giselle, why did you
Am I at
report?
4?
Yep.
Yep.
I know.
Lexi in the lead with 4. Who thinks they're running the show?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Izzy, Brian, Lexi, Sarah say Brian. Toby says himself.
Cocky.
Toby. And then Giselle says Lexi. The correct answer is Toby. Toby gets it. Who is the loudest person left in the game?
I know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Almost everyone says Lexi except for Giselle, who says Izzy.
We haven't been on the
I think
same
it's when
side.
I was writing it down, you were like,
All right, the correct answer is Izzy. Giselle gets the point.
hey!
Lexi has 4. Izzy, Giselle, and Sarah have 3. Toby and Brian have 2.
Who is most likely to be the most bitter juror?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Oh, bitch!
Izzy, Brian, Sarah say Giselle. Giselle and Lexi say Brian.
I
Toby
just
says
picked this one
Sarah.
up. I
The
didn't.
correct answer is Giselle.
I'm like the least bitter person.
So Izzy,
But
Izzy,
Brian,
Brian,
and
and
Sarah.
Sarah.
Most likely to subtract that survivor would be Giselle.
Who is the most likely to stab you in the back?
5, 4,
Wait, stop.
3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Almost everyone says Brian, except for Brian, who says Giselle.
We're not in tribal today.
Brian,
the
how do you
snake
feel
rope.
right now?
With my hands, Charlie.
Alright, the correct answer is Brian. Everybody moving on except for Brian. Who is the least likely to be remembered?
this is really mean.
This one was really mean.
5,
Wait,
4,
wait.
3, 2,
I don't know.
1. Reveal.
Wow, guys, that's fucked up.
Brian, Lexi, Toby, Sarah say Giselle.
Who has enough Twitter
Giselle says
followers?
Sarah.
Giselle.
Izzy says Toby.
Like,
Toby, I love you.
The
I have to
correct,
think of a name. I have to think of a name.
the
Wait, I'll say
correct
my name.
answer is Giselle.
Sorry.
it's fine.
Brian,
Sorry.
Lexi, Toby, Sarah.
Who has the best chance of winning this game?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
All right, Izzy, Brian, Lexi, and Sarah say Sarah. Sarah said herself. Toby and Giselle say Toby. Toby also says
I
himself.
got you.
The correct answer is a tie between Lexi and Sarah.
Oh my god, no wonder we've been trying. No wonder
Izzy,
we've
Brian, Lexi, and Sarah get points. Who does not deserve to still be in this game?
Oh, fuck. I don't like this one.
Yeah, there's a
This one's so mean.
Oh, wait. No,
Nasty
I
game.
really
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
All right. Everyone says Izzy, except for Toby,
I love you so much,
who
okay?
says
Guys,
Brian.
I wanted to go home the first round. I wanted to.
However,
That's true. I should
the correct answer is Giselle. So nobody gets points for this question. All right, so the score right now, we finished the questions.
Giselle and Toby have 4. Brian has 5. Izzy has 6. We have a tie between Sarah and Lexi with 7, which means we are going to a tiebreaker round.
Can we still vote?
Yeah.
This is funny.
Yeah, I'm having
Can
fun.
we still vote alone?
We're going to ask you a question. On the back of the card with your name on it, you are going to write down your answer. The answer is a number. You want to get as close to that number as possible without going over. The question is, how many votes have been cast total this season, including votes that have not counted? 30 seconds.
I'd say at least 3, right?
At least 3. Starting.
$1.
This is
Only
so
one of
hard.
those superlatives was me.
15
What
seconds.
was that?
Put
Well, all the
yourself like
negative
half
ones
of
are for
Toby.
me, so I wouldn't feel too
That's
upset.
I can't do math right now, so mine is a complete
It's like
guess.
Toby, like for yours is like, who do you think is
thought
awesome?
you had-
Who do you think's
Too much
awesome?
of a rough day, guys.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
I know
Lexi
mine is
says
so off, but I just don't want to go
46. Sarah says
probably beat me.
35.
The total number of votes cast this season is 73, which means Lexi wins individual
Do
immunity.
you guys want to know my math? There were 6 of us left, and I multiplied it by 16 for some reason.
Lexi, with your great math, come on up, you get immunity.
Wait, Lexi, 6 times 16 doesn't equal 46.
Not even close. I mean, Lexi, on a good note, you're safe at tonight's council. 1 in 5 shot at winning this game. As for the rest of you, after 31 days, someone will be the 10th person voted out of this game. Grab your stuff, head back to camp.
So basically, we got a sheet about the other players in the team. Like, some of them were positive, like who's the most attractive. None of them were really my type, but that's fine. And it was like most of them were very like things you would not want to hear about yourself. It was like, who's not going to be remembered in this game? Who doesn't deserve to be here? Who would stab you in the back? And it was honestly really hard for me to answer those questions just because I'm such a positive person, and like even people I don't like, it's like hard for me to like find stuff about their, like I don't like attacking people's personalities. They could think that, or it could have been just because they didn't want to fuck up their alliances and make their allies mad. But it wasn't fun. I'm not even shocked because I really hadn't worked with any of them, so I guess obviously they wouldn't know me. I wasn't shocked, I just a lot of them weren't true. These people are like think these really horrible things about me. There's no way I want to even like try to like make relationships with these people. They obviously don't. They wouldn't because of the way they see me. I feel like my only hope is if they come to me, because if I go to them, it's just desperate and they're not gonna like say yes. I think I chose Sarah for least memorable just because I feel like her personality isn't as like distinct as everyone else's, and I don't know what went on behind the scenes. She could have done some really crazy stuff.
We were going through, and then one of the superlatives was who doesn't deserve to be in this game, and it was just kind of an awkward moment because I mean most of us wrote Giselle's name down, and it's just kind of tough because she was in a different alliance than the rest of us the entire time, and I didn't want to hold Giselle's name up because she was already getting some negative ones, so like I held up Izzy's because like she's my friend and like we could joke about it after and stuff, and like she even held up her own name, and then like when we read it out that it was Giselle, it was just like really uncomfortable and like really sad, and I think we all felt really bad after that challenge. This game shouldn't really affect how you feel outside of it, and I think that's the tough thing with playing it in a college setting. Like, you know, we're all friends outside of this game. We all know each other. While I didn't know everybody before coming into this, now I consider Toby a really good friend of mine. I consider Lexi and Izzy really good friends of mine.
I think it's interesting because I knew Giselle was going to write my name, and I knew I was going to write Giselle's name because obviously she had tried to get me out, and I had like gotten out a lot of her alliance. But within my alliance, I feel like that showed a lot, and I think it's interesting how they perceive the question of who is most likely to win this game and who is the biggest backstabber, because I overwhelmingly got that question, and I know that they see me as someone who is able to stab people in the back because I can get on people's side. But at the same time, no one voted for me to think that I would win this game. So I think they perceive that stabbing people in the back won't win you this game, but I 100% think it will. And I'm not saying that I think I deserve to win this game over all of the people in my alliance, but I do think that I have done more in this game than they have, and I feel like they could like be threatened by that.
It was fun when we were like all filling out the questions, and it was like, who would you trust your life with? And I was like, Lexi! And then it was like, who's most attractive? And I was like, Lexi! And it was just like a fun, like, it was like a fun little, I felt like I was in a sorority, and I was just like, oh my god, like sisterhood, it's so much fun. And then it got to the ones where it was like, who doesn't deserve to be here? And I was like, oh.
I only got one, and it was thinks they're running the game, I believe. And like, sure, I'll take it. That's a good one to get.
I just have to figure out whether I want to play my hidden immunity idol at this tribal or the next tribal. And I'm going to meet with my alliance tonight.
So, she just basically pitched trying to get you out again.
Yeah.
Jeez.
She was like, I really think
It's
like,
her only hope because she knows just from the past of how things have went that the four of us are gonna like stick together.
Yeah.
So like she knows she's going home, she was trying all she could. The original plan was for Final Five to get Giselle out because that would solidify Final Five. But like we need to get rid of Brian right now or else he's definitely making it to Final Four. And I'm pretty sure he knows because he's really smart and he's gotten through this game as a snake. Who I want to go to the end with is Lexi and Izzy.
I mean, like, I think I could play my idol still, but like...
You could, but if you did, then Giselle would still be going home because that's who we're all voting for.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
I think Brian's issue is that because he watches the show Survivor too much, he didn't really know how to play it in a school setting and not like flip-flop on both sides because like, I'm sorry, you really just like need to choose a side for the purpose of like this game or else it's gonna make you one of the most hated players in the game.
But cool. Yeah, I figured she was gonna do that anyway. But yeah, no. Today was like a whirlwind for all of that. That was insane.
So describe it.
Right after the superlative challenge, we're like, yeah, it's Giselle. It should be Brian because he has like screwed a lot of people over and like he's been sneaky this whole time and like scheming and he's like never really been truly loyal to anyone. I think I've like adopted more of a team mentality. In the beginning when there were still a lot of people, it was easy to like hide in the crowd, you know? Like it's fun hanging out with everyone. Like I don't care about winning. It's just fun to like hang out with everyone. And like it's fun to like be schemy and all that. So and I'm so vocal about that I feel like people don't see me as a threat. So they just like keep me on for the numbers. And I've literally said that. I've literally said to so many people, I'm like, dude, like don't vote me out just because I'm so easygoing. I'll vote for whoever you tell me to. Like keep me for the numbers, you know? Like
Me, Lexi, Giselle, and Izzy met up and we came up with a new plan. We are going to split the vote 3 ways. Me and Lexi are voting for Toby, Izzy and Giselle are voting for Brian, and hopefully, from the original plan, Brian and Toby will be voting for Giselle.
They proposed a plan because Brian apparently has an immunity idol, and it's so obvious that I would be the next one going home to blindside him.
I'm so the angels.
I could ask him.
And then I'm just like,
Acapella just like walks in.
Yeah.
I want to wear all black.
One of 3 things could happen. Either 1, I put all of my trust into them and don't play my idol and then I go home. 2, I put all my trust in them and don't play my idol and then Giselle goes home. Or 3, I could try to convince them and be like, hey, I want to be on the same playing field as you guys going into the final 5. And so if you guys all throw your votes to me, then I'll just vote out Giselle.
I don't think Brian will stab me in the back. The most likely to stab you in the back comes from his history since the merge on all the playing both sides that he's done, all the switcheroos. I like to think that I'm in control of my own destiny, at least.
Whoever stays between Brian and Toby know that they've been betrayed, and it's going to make them work even harder to win the challenge. But again, we have numbers on our side, and at the same time, if they do win the challenge, then we can vote out Giselle.
If Giselle gets into the final 3, she's gonna win, simply because her entire alliance is on the jury. And of course they would all vote for her. So that potentially raises problems if she were to win the next 2 immunity challenges.
I can't decide if it's a good look or not.
Well,
Is it a good look?
Alright, so, Toby,
Yes.
how does being in the final 6 raise the stakes within this game?
Well, I guess each vote matters more. You know, like 1/6 is more than 1/16. Sorry, I just woke up.
So, Giselle, looking at how sides were before, it would seem as though you're the last one standing on your side. Does it seem clear that maybe it's going to be you tonight?
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not really in a position to make any decisions, so I'm just going with the flow. I mean, I've tried some things, but I'm honestly like preparing myself to go home, but...
So Brian, if you're staying 5 strong, what happens with once, say, Giselle's gone? How do you sort of make decisions to get yourself in that final 3?
I mean, in theory, a lot of it comes down to those challenges. Whereas in the past, it may have been if one person won, we all won kind of thing. Now it's if that person wins, that person wins. So from there, you have to figure out, like, who will get you to that final 3 and who do you think you could potentially like beat in that final 3.
So Lexi, when choosing who to go with to the final 3, what do you look for in order to try to get yourself to win?
I look for somebody who has backstabbed the most amount of people. And no, honestly, I want to be the most liked in the final 3. I know that I've made some decisions in this game that have probably hurt people's feelings. I know that I've apologized for all of them. So I hope that the jury just can ultimately be like, wow, Lexi played a really good game and she tried her best to be a nice person during all of it. And hopefully that will occur to them more than it will occur to them for anyone else.
Brian, she called you out for being the one most likely to backstab. This came up in the challenge too.
Oh god, I mean, I never anticipated in this game to be that kind of person. And so then to have in that
Everybody's
challenge,
laughing about that.
No, because I'm like, usually people just like, oh, whenever they hear Brian, they're like, oh, he's nice. But like, so
Brian.
I mean, I think it took me back a bit.
He did it for us. He did everything he did for us.
For y'all.
For y'all.
For y'all.
Sure. But
I'm from the South.
it's interesting how I'll continue, hopefully throughout the rest of the game, and if I can even change that image or if my fate's already sealed.
Sarah, speaking of the challenge, were people singled out during it? Were lines in the sand sort of clear because of the challenge?
I think people's feelings were hurt, and by people I mean I think we all hurt Giselle's feelings, and it sucks, and we all feel bad about it, and we've all apologized. Because when you're here, we're all going to school together. We all live in the same buildings. We all are friends outside of this. It drew lines within the game, and I think it began to draw personal lines, which isn't appropriate. But we've been trying to mend that.
Giselle, do you think that things got better after that? Do you think people approached you? Did people talk to you?
I mean, well, they all apologized, and it'd be fucked up if they didn't. So, I mean, it didn't feel nice afterwards, but honestly, got over it. People have said much worse things about me in my life. I don't feel isolated because they obviously reached out to me.
Izzy, in this game with only 6 people left, how do you ensure that you're going to be one of those people in the final 3?
You're asking the wrong person. I've always been the kind of person, or at least I've always tried to be the kind of person that I love helping people around me, and I love putting other people's wants and needs above mine. So it's not a necessity of mine, and I feel totally comfortable being open about this. It's not a necessity of mine to go to the final 3, there are really hard workers in this game, and people who I would love to see go to the final 3 because I know that they deserve that kind of recognition. I don't know,
So you're not here to win?
I don't know, I've never, I think maybe I was in the beginning. It was oh yeah, I'll win, maybe. Probably not.
So Toby, with her being probably the only person here right now who's I'm not playing to win right now, is this a good thing for you to just say, oh, we can eliminate her right now? Or is this a person that's you want to take with you?
I think if Izzy wants to go home, if you can go home.
And I've said that. I've said to all of my alliances, when you need someone to go home and no one else wants to, I'll volunteer as tribute. Just give me a heads up first,
Lexi, how important is the vote tonight right now?
The vote tonight is extremely important because it means that either we shake up what our original plan was from the very beginning, or we go into the final 5, as our group message is called, and we vote somebody off from there who's been in our alliance, and somebody who we've trusted, and somebody who we know their secrets type thing. So yeah, I would say there have been more important votes, and I think this one doesn't compare, but yeah, it's pretty important.
All right, then. It is time to vote. Lexi, you're up.
This is definitely not the most important vote. It's the hardest vote that I've ever had to make in this game so far.
Hopefully it'll actually work this time.
I vote you.
Literally.
But you know what? I'm not gonna go stop. You're like, I'm still in it to win it, bitches.
If anybody has the hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
I gotta do it tonight, Charlie. I'm sorry. I don't want to. Just in case.
The rules of Survivor state that if anybody plays the hidden immunity idol, any votes cast against that person will not count. This is the hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast against Brian will not count. I'll need the votes. First vote. Brian does not count. Giselle. Giselle. It's 2 votes, Giselle. 10th person voted out of Survivor Boston. Giselle.
Thanks, Trixie. Most loved member of the other alliance goes to Giselle.
Giselle, the tribe has spoken. Head out.
Love you, Giselle.
Love you.
Sorry.
Congratulations, you made the final 5 with this alliance that you had planned. Now things are going to get a little bit more complicated. Grab your stuff, head back to camp. Good night, Yuki.
Thank you.
I want the viewers to know where camp is.
Thirsty Thursday. Yeah.
Next time on Survivor Boston. After 11 college students have left the game, the final 5 battle it out for the $100 prize and the title of sole survivor. Join us for the season finale February 8th to crown the winner of Survivor Boston, the Freedom Trail.
I mean, I'm proud of myself for even making it to the merge or honestly past the first tribal. Obviously, I made it further than anyone in my alliance. Definitely a regret I would have would be not talking more to the other people in the alliance. I'm mad that Brian's made it this far because he's kind of cheated both sides, and it would be smart of them to bring him to the final 3 because they know no one will vote for him.